The bats have been quiet. The Rangers have 3 starting pitchers on the IL, and still, the Rangers have the best record in the American League. Talk about how they've done it and more on this episode of Locked On Rangers. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On Rangers, your daily Texas Rangers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are locked onto the Texas Rangers, the first and best daily Rangers podcast. I'm Bryce Patrick, a cripplingly addicted Texas Rangers fan, covering this team for 12 seasons, including all 7 as the founder and host of this podcast. Thank you all so much for making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. If you're not already, you can follow me on Twitter at Bryce Patrick. You can follow the show at Locked On Rangers. Hit subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and on YouTube, where the best way you can help grow the show is to comment nearly any single thing below. Now, on today's show, I'm talking about how the Rangers just keep on winning, the rotation looking very good despite injuries, and this offense still has yet to get going, but they've found out a way to scratch out some runs. Before we get into all of that, today's show is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Now, the Rangers head into this series in Chicago at Wrigley against the Cubs on a 5-game winning streak. The Rangers are 8-2. They are undefeated in one-run games. They have a negative 1 run differential because in one of their 2 losses, they got absolutely trounced by the Reds. But the Rangers just keep on winning. This is a team that was expected to do fairly well this season, but the thought was, the offense is going to carry them while the pitching, might be a little so-so, but it has been exactly the opposite. The starting pitching on this team has been fantastic despite having 3 starting pitchers on the injured list. John Gray with a fractured wrist, he's going to be out until probably June at the earliest. Cody Bradford, who looked fantastic last year but missed time with a back injury that turned into a rib injury, and he came into camp and looked very, very good, and he had some elbow soreness, so he's going to be out until, at least May. Who knows exactly when he's going to be back. And then, unfortunately, on Friday, after the best start Jack Leiter has ever had, the Rangers placed him on the 15-day IL with a blister injury. We'll talk about what's going on with that and who the Rangers are bringing up to replace him. But let's just start talking about what the starting pitching has done so far this season. And Nathan Eovaldi has been fantastic. A 1.20 ERA, including a complete game shutout when the Rangers needed it most last week. He's on the hill tonight against the Cubs. Jacob deGrom, the second worst ERA in the Rangers rotation 2 times through. Let me say that again. Second worst ERA in the Rangers rotation 2 times through it. And he's got a 3.38 ERA. A bad start for deGrom. 5 2/3 innings, 4 runs. We'll talk about that in just a second. Then you have Jack Leiter, who's now on the IL, a .9 ERA. 10 innings, 10 strikeouts, 2 starts. Looked fantastic. Rocker, after a blow-up start on Monday of last week, looked excellent. Excellent. So much better. Did exactly what I was hoping he would do. He threw the sinker. He threw the pitch that was better than the bad pitch. It felt like such a simple thing. He just did not trust that sinker, did not trust the breaking stuff as much as he should have. He was throwing the four-seamer. He was throwing the four-seamer right in the middle of the plate. When he would get ahead in counts, he would just say, okay, here is my worst pitch in the worst location. And surprisingly, unsurprisingly, the Reds jumped all over it. In this game, he threw 77 pitches, and 39 of them were sinkers. Oh, finally. He was throwing them early in counts, getting weak groundouts. Not a whole lot of strikeouts in this one, but hey, when you go 5 innings, you only allow 1 run, and you're economical with that pitch count. He could have gone out for a 6th inning, but he had a little bit of a hand cramp. The Rangers just decided, hey, we got enough of the bullpen to go out there and get this win, and they did, and they got this win, and Rocker should be fine. There shouldn't be any issues for his next start, although I did say that about Jack's blister injury, but still, 39 sinkers, lots of weak ground balls, only threw the four-seamer 7 times. Just glorious. Trusted that sinker, trusted that slider. Didn't quite have a feel for the curveball, only threw 3 changeup, only threw a couple of curveballs, did mix in 1 cutter there. Eventually, if he has a good day with the curveball, if he's really, really feeling with the curveball, that can be when Rocker is at his best, but this seemed like he wasn't quite at his total best. The slider wasn't as nasty as it's been in games past, but he still went 5 innings, 1 run. That's good enough. That's more than good enough. That's very good. That's what the Rangers needed out of him. And Tyler Mahle as well, having a bounce back start, going 5 shutout innings, despite his velocity not being where you would want it. It was averaging 92.3 miles per hour on that four-seam fastball. He was still getting a lot of swings and misses on that four-seamer. A lot of swings and misses. And, it was enough. 5 shutout innings. He looked the best of anybody who started for the Rangers this weekend, through 42 four-seam fastballs, 18 swings, 7 swings and misses on it, despite it being down in terms of the velocity. But the slider looks really good for him. Best we've probably seen it in a Rangers uniform. 2/3 of the swings that he got on it, of the 6 swings, he got 4 swings and misses. That was a very, very good pitch. Got a swing and miss on the cutter, got some swings and misses. 1 swing and miss on the splitter. That wasn't even that great of a pitch for him in that game, but still went 5 shutout innings. That was huge. The Rangers need their starting pitchers to give them at least 5 innings, if not 6, hopefully getting some deeper starts as we start to go through this rotation a couple more times through. Hopefully they can start to get more 6, maybe 7 inning starts. They don't need a complete game shutty from Evo every time, but it would be helpful since the Rangers are using a lot of this pen. The Rangers pen has been very, very good so far, outside of one really bad outing by Luke Jackson, which was really just one bad pitch that resulted in a 3-run homer and the loss on opening day. He's got a league leading 5 saves, an MLB leading 5 saves. He's pitched in 6 of the Rangers' 10 games so far. Chris Martin has pitched in 6 of the Rangers' 10 games, hasn't allowed a single earned run. Jacob Webb has a 1.50 ERA. He's been pitching in some high leverage spots. Robert Garcia's got a 1.80 ERA. He's pitched in 6 games, and he's looked very, very good so far. Both of them averaging at least, both have 5 strikeouts. Webb's thrown 6 innings. Robert Garcia's thrown 5 innings. Sean Armstrong has had 1 bad outing, but other than that, Hobie Milner hasn't allowed an earned run this season. Mark Church looked a little shaky. I think at some point, if he keeps just trying to outstuff hitters, especially the number 9 hitters in situations like he did on Sunday, as opposed to just pitching at them and throwing strikes and trying his best to make them quality strikes, maybe he'll end up going down for Emiliano Teodo until he starts working on that, because throwing 98 is nice, but throwing 98, 96 where you want it is a little bit better than throwing 98 wherever. But these pitchers have been so darn good. So darn good so far. The fact that Jacob deGrom had a bad start and the Rangers still got a win. This is very antithetical to what he did with the New York Mets, but this offense hasn't quite gotten going just yet. We'll talk about exactly how they are getting themselves going, and to where when the big bats actually start hitting, I think this offense is going to be basically unstoppable. But this bullpen just so incredibly deep so far. Even when the Rangers didn't have the A side of their bullpen ready, it wasn't rested, because this pen has thrown a lot. When your closer is thrown in 60% of your games, that's quite a bit. The Rangers have had 1 off day, but still, Luke Jackson threw in 3 of the 4 games in that Boston series. He threw, I believe, I think just 1. Yeah, just that game against Cincinnati, and then he threw in a couple of games in this series. So, the back end of this pen has been very, very good. Luke Jackson has been very, very good. Chris Martin, Jacob Webb, Robert Garcia, all of those guys have been very, very good. But even when you go towards the B side of this pen, now Mark Church didn't have himself the best game, but Hobie Milner was able to go a couple of innings and be perfect. He was awesome in this game. Having a guy like that who can go multiple innings when your starter gives you 5 quality innings, but 5, to bridge it to the back end of this pen, while hopefully the bats start to open things up a little bit. They haven't really done that quite yet, but this team just keeps winning. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They are 5-0 in 1-run games, and maybe it's been a little fluky. Maybe eventually this cannot hold up for an entire season, but it doesn't particularly matter. I mean, this team is not going to stay undefeated in one-run games. They are not going to, keep winning every single close game like they have basically all season long. The only close game that they lost was opening day to Boston, and if not for a Luke Jackson meltdown, they would have won that game. This is just a team that keeps on stacking wins, and, wins count the same. People like to tell you, the wins are more important in September. No, wins matter whenever you can get them. The Rangers are at the top of this division. They are at the top of the American League at 8-2, and yeah, maybe it's a little bit fluky how they got there, but the wins are the most important thing. We seem to forget that because, we want to get it sucked into the sample size and is this sustainable? Is this really, really how good this team is? Yes, you are what your record says you are. And this team right now is very, very good. And in a minute, I'm going to tell you exactly how they're going to get even freaking better right after this. This show is brought to you by Just Ingredients. When it comes to fueling your body, quality matters. That's why Just Ingredients is changing the game with clean, high-quality products designed to support better health and peak performance. Just Ingredients offers an NSF-certified line of protein powder, electrolytes, pre-workout, and creatine, all rigorously tested to ensure they're free from substances banned by major athletic organizations. Just Ingredients has also partnered with two-time MVP Bryce Harper, who trusts their NSF-certified sports line to fuel his training and recovery. I love that Just Ingredients prioritizes wholesome, nourishing ingredients without all the artificial junk. Whether you're recovering from a workout or need energy, their grass-fed whey protein and pre-workout deliver real results. Visit justingredients.us and use code LOCKEDONMLB for 20% off. And for more wellness tips, follow at just.ingredients on Instagram. Shout out to the Rangers making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. On tomorrow's show, I'll be back and talking about what Nathan Eovaldi did against the Cubs and if the Rangers can turn this into a 6-game winning streak. Now, I said the offense isn't hitting, and for the most part, that isn't true. But I gotta give a shout out to the one guy who is really swinging the stick incredibly well, and that is Joshua H. Hits real good, all-star, silver slugger, soon-to-be gold glover, Pookie Smith. What a weekend for Josh Smith. So far, he is leading the Rangers in batting average, in on-base percentage, in slugging percentage as well, if you don't count, Jonah Heim is leading in slugging percentage, but overall OPS, Josh Smith at a 1,011 OPS in 25 plate appearances so far this season. He has been crushing it as of late, and you look at what he did for the first basically week. It has really been the last 4 or 5 games that Josh Smith has just flipped a switch. He has figured it out. He is back to hitting like the all-star he was in the first half of last year. He has been just exceptional, sensational, and he's been sensational on the base pass as well, stealing 3 bases, but that is not the team lead. That is Leiter Taveras. Now, Leiter offensively hasn't been having the best year. He has had some timely hits. He has driven in 3 runs for the Rangers, though he's batting under 200. The on base is the Dallas area code at 214. But still, he has stolen a league-leading 5 bases. He's not the only one running rampant on this team. This whole team has been just crushing it on the base pass in a way, and they've been very aggressive and very economical. They have not been caught at all this year. They have 14 stolen base attempts, and they have never been caught. 3 stolen bases by Josh Smith, 2 by Wyatt Langford, 5 by Leiter Taveras, 2 by Adolis Garcia, and 1 by Jonah freaking Heim, beating out a ground ball to the second baseman, Brandon Lau. He bobbled it, and Jonah Heim used his speed to get on first base, and then, because the pitcher thought, Jonah Heim's slow, there's no way he's going to steal a bag here, he didn't even check him at all, and Jonah said, not so fast. I got wheels. I am speed. I am Lightning McQueen, and stole second base to the surprise of everybody, and was safe relatively easily, then scoring on a single by Josh Smith. Excuse me, I think that was Leody Taveras that drove in Jonah Heim. But still, using their wheels, this has been something that I have been wanting this Rangers offense to be much more aggressive in the last couple of years, and they haven't really done it. I mean, Adolis Garcia looks much, much faster this year than he's looked in years past. I really think that those knee injuries were doing a lot more to hamper his speed than at least I previously thought. Leody Taveras is a fast base runner and a good base stealer as well. Love seeing him be aggressive. Love seeing Wyatt Langford, who has elite speed, be aggressive. We haven't seen Marcus Semien steal a base. The only person who I don't want to steal a base is Corey Seager. He's dealing with a calf injury, and he also had dealt with quad injuries in 2023. So Corey Seager's also not exactly the speediest boy. So just focus on home run trots and maybe a double if you hit a ball to the wall. But seeing this offense be aggressive on the base pass, it is a thing that you can do when your big sticks aren't swinging it well. I mean, Corey Seager has not hit well so far this season. He just hasn't. Marcus Semien, for the most part, hasn't hit well this season, getting a leadoff homer in that game. I believe that was Saturday's game where the Rangers dropped 4 runs, all on home runs, including a 3-run homer by Jake Berger, who is also off to a slow start. Jock Peterson off to a slow start. Corey Seager off to a slow start. This team is still winning, though. They are still winning baseball games with timely hits, and a lot of offense from Josh Smith, a lot of offense from Wyatt Langford, who had an incredible at-bat and a go-ahead home run, a 2-run homer on a 100-mile-an-hour fastball from a lefty down and in, hit it 111 miles an hour off the bat, and I'm pretty sure that's a harder hit ball than he had all of last season in the regular season. Wyatt Langford has been putting together some very, very good plate appearances so far this year. I am very impressed with what I've seen from him offensively, defensively. If we can get him going on the base pass, that would be a very, very powerful weapon for this Rangers offense to use. And, the Rangers' 3 best hitters, the guys who I thought would be the Rangers' 3 best hitters this year so far, just haven't really gotten it going in the way that you would expect. I mean, Jock Peterson has been an incredibly consistent, one of the most consistent bats in baseball outside of the truly elite superstars in Shohei Ohtani and guys like Aaron Judge. I mean, Jock Peterson has been exactly about 25% better than league average for the last 3, 5, 7 years, basically. He only had a down year in Chicago. And so I have no questions that Jock Peterson is going to turn this thing around, that Corey Seager is eventually going to turn that time around, because Corey Seager's a go-ahead home run, that was a pitch that Corey Seager, when he's right, destroys. He hit that ball 110 miles an hour for his first home run of the season. It was a sweeper or a slider right down the middle of the plate from a lefty, too. I mean, Corey Seager, when he's on, he crushes lefties. Last year, a little bit of a down year against lefties, but if you remember in 2023, there was no type of pitch or no type of pitch, no zone in the zone where there's no sub-zone in the zone where Corey Seager didn't absolutely crush it. And so seeing him have a little bit of a down year against lefties last year is, I think, a little bit more of an aberration than a trend that Corey Seager is going to stop hitting lefties. But he just hasn't looked quite right just yet, and still this offense is doing enough. They are getting timely hitting enough. I mean, you don't have to score 20 runs a game to keep winning, and when you have a pitching staff like this, heck, you don't even need to score, I guess, 5 runs a game. This offense has been fine. They have a negative run differential, and still, if you keep being aggressive with this offense, keep on eking out extra runs. I mean, that's what you do when you force the catchers to throw you out, to make good plays. And so far, the catchers haven't made good plays. The catchers in this series just kept on making throwing error after throwing error. I mean, so many times this series, the Rangers went from first base to third base because they stole second, and then there was an errant throw out to the outfield. I mean, Leody Taveras did it at a time, Kevin Pillar did it at a time, Josh Smith did it at a time. I mean, it has been consistently that this Rangers offense, these runners are just striking absolute terror into the opposing catchers. And well, unfortunately, the Rangers catchers haven't done a great job of keeping runners from stealing against them, against doing the same thing. Maybe the Rangers saw everybody stealing bases against them and thought, okay, well, if you can't beat them, join them, because the Rangers have given up 16 stolen bases. They've stolen 14 and haven't been caught once. They have had 17 stolen base attempts and only caught against them, and Rangers catchers have only caught them once. Now, that's not entirely on the catching staff, the starting pitchers, and the bullpen. They need to be better about holding runners, about varying their timing, about actually throwing over and keeping an eye on the runner. Now, granted, Jonah Heim doesn't have the biggest arm behind the dish. He's not Pudge Rodriguez behind the dish. He's still a very good defensive catcher, and he makes fairly accurate throws, but the pitchers have got to help him out a little bit, and he and Higgy have to do just a little bit better of a job of catching these runners, because if the Rangers are going to eke out runs by stealing every single base, then the opposing batters are also going to steal runs by stealing every single base, and so just that's something that needs to get a little bit better as we are going through the season. But it's really nitpicking at this point. The Rangers are 8-2. They've got 3 starting pitchers on the IL after Jack's injury, and they even have an all-star on the IL. We're going to talk about who's coming back and when and where it will affect this Rangers team the most right after this. This show is brought to you by Gametime. Now, there's nothing better than catching a baseball game live, and Gametime is the best way to get your tickets to any one of those baseball games that you're wanting to check out. Right now the Rangers are on the road, but next week they're coming back. They got a series against the Angels, against the reigning champion Dodgers. That is going to be an incredibly fun weekend series against those reigning champs. Can the Rangers take down Ohtani and the Dodgers? You can go watch it all live and in person. Go get those tickets with Gametime. They make it so easy to get those tickets. You can take the guesswork out of buying those tickets. They've got top discounts. You can see your seat, what it looks like before you buy, and they've got deals that go down as you get closer to game time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Now, after Jack Leiter's second start of the season, in the show after that, I said, Jack Leiter's probably going to be fine. The Rangers thought, Jack Leiter's probably going to be fine with that blister. He left the game, and the pain was at a 6 out of 10, and so the Rangers put him on the 15-day IL on Friday night. Patrick Corbin will be up. He is up with the team already, and he will be making his first start of the season as a Texas Ranger on Tuesday against the Cubs. Jack will be eligible to return off the IL on April 18th, and since the Rangers have so many off days in that stretch, there's a chance really this start on the 8th, it's going to be probably the only start that he has to miss. The Rangers have an off day on Thursday, the 10th, in between the series in Chicago against the Cubs and the series on the road against the Mariners in Seattle. And then the Rangers have an off day while they travel home on the 14th, next Monday after that series against Seattle, before that 6-game homestand against the Angels and the Dodgers. So Jack would be eligible to return from the IL on the 18th of April. That will be the first game against the Dodgers. That will be a huge, huge game. So if the Rangers want, they could skip Patrick Corbin's spot in the rotation and push all of that back just a little bit instead of him starting, what would that be, the 16th, 8 days after the 8th. He will only probably have to make just one start. Then the Rangers can bring Jack Leiter back onto the big league roster on the 18th to make that start. He has looked so darn good. This was a precautionary measure. The Rangers want him to get fully right. He threw a 2-seam fastball that kind of ripped open a blister, and so the pain was just a bit too much for Jack. He threw 70 pitches of 5 shutout innings and just 1 hit against the Reds in the finale of that series in Cincinnati. It was the best that he's looked. The Rangers just want to make sure that he is a full go, and when they can just do this and miss basically one start and still be able to give the rotation its normal time through, when you've got 2 off days, 3 off days really, because it's retroactive to the 3rd. So you have 1 off day, that first Thursday, last Thursday actually, where he is placed on the IL. Then you have the 10th and the 14th as well. So really, Jack's only missing 1 start, and if he was ready to go for the 8th, I don't think that we would have seen him on the IL. And this is the only, they could have just scratched his start and gone with a bullpen game, but this bullpen's already been very taxed. And with the Rangers signing Patrick Corbin, the only way they could get him up on this roster before, I believe, the 11th, it would have been this series against the Mariners. It would have been the first time that they could call Patrick Corbin up without a roster move. But the Rangers decided, no, we're going to be extra cautious with Jack. He has looked fantastic so far. We just want to make sure that he is, fully good to go for the entire season. And so it's frustrating, but I totally get that. I totally respect that. The Rangers' decision there. But he's not the only one on the IL. There's no new updates about John Gray and about Cody Bradford. They will be back. When they will be back, we don't know anything new about them. But Josh Jung, who went on the IL very early on in this season, is going to be back. He will be back on Tuesday, the same day that Patrick Corbin is making his first start. Josh made some rehab starts in Frisco this weekend. Looked pretty darn good. Hit the ball well, and that neck is feeling much better. He is eligible to return from the IL on Tuesday. But you may be thinking, but Bryce, there's another Josh, a Josh with 18,000 different nicknames who is hitting incredibly well, and heck is basically the only Rangers hitter who's hitting incredibly well. What the heck's going to happen with Josh Smith when Josh Jung gets back? Is Josh Smith not going to play at all? And no, that's not going to be the case. Josh Smith is going to be used in that super utility role. Bruce Bochy says that Josh Smith will be playing 4 to 5 times a week, which that was the plan at the outset of the season. He will be playing a little bit of shortstop, a little bit of second base, a little bit of third, maybe a little bit of first base, maybe a little bit of time in the outfield, just to give everybody a day off every once in a while, playing most of the games and while still staying fresh himself. I think last year down the stretch, it wasn't that Josh Smith was necessarily getting figured out. It wasn't like, oh, he actually wasn't this good and he's coming back down to earth. Maybe a little bit of why his offense tailed off so much after the All-Star break, but also just the grind of being an everyday player for a full season. I mean, Smith had filled in quite a bit in 2023, and he'd played quite a few games in 2022, but it's just different when you're coming in once a week. It's a different, wear and tear on your body. It's hard to be a bench player and come in every once in a while and stay fresh and stay, locked in, but it's different kind of a wear and tear being an everyday player like Josh Smith was for basically the entire season last year. I mean, and Smith was in that lineup all the time, even when Josh Jung came back for, those 40-something games. I mean, or when Josh Jung came back for those 40-something games. I mean, Smith is an integral part of this lineup. I don't think that he's going to be the Rangers' best hitter all season long, but I've said for a long time that Josh Smith is a legitimately just good hitter. He's not, he's decent for a bench bat. No, he's just a good hitter, and he needs to be in this Rangers lineup to where if you have some continued down performances from Jake Berger, from Jock Peterson, heck, even from Leody Taveras, you could move some things around and get Josh Smith some more at bats in this lineup, and it puts more pressure on everybody. It puts more competition on everybody to stay good, to stay hitting, to stay hot, because if not, it's either put up or shut up time with the Rangers offense. I mean, we saw that with Evan Carter going down to AAA to start the season. He wasn't just gifted a job because Leody Taveras was better than him in spring training. He looked better than him offensively, and it's going to take some time for Evan Carter to get right. I'm still not worried about him. His last game, I believe that was on Sunday, Evan Carter had a single and 3 walks. That's a very, very Evan Carter game. He hasn't been getting as many games as I would like, but still, I'm not really worried about that. I'm not really worried about this offense in general. They will break out. I mean, Corey Seager is just too good a big league hitter to be bad for much longer. That's the thing that differentiates the stars from the mediocre players. I mean, everybody in baseball has bad stretches. It's just part of the game. But the difference between the all-stars, the MVP caliber players, and the role players are the just mediocre starting players. Not that there's anything bad with being a mediocre starting MLB player. It's still a very difficult thing to do. But the difference between guys like Leody Taveras and guys like Corey Seager, Leody, he'll have his hot streaks and he'll get hot, but he will be cold for a long, long time in between those hot streaks. But with guys like Seager, with guys like Simeon, and guys like Jock Peterson as well, their cold streaks, their cold stretches aren't that long. They don't suck for very long. They'll suck for, 5 games, 7 games, 10 games, sometimes 15 if it's an extended stretch or if they're, playing through something like Corey Seager is. But they don't really have, a month, 2 months, month and a half where they're just straight up bad. It's just not in their nature. They're just too good at making adjustments, too good at figuring out whatever they're doing that's not working and solving that problem and getting back to their elite level production to be bad for longer stretches than this. I mean, Wyatt Langford has had some really, really good at-bats to carry this Rangers offense. I mean, Adolis Garcia had a good first week. He's been a little quiet outside of that. And Berger's been hitting the ball hard, but it's been mostly on the ground. But that's the thing about having a lineup as deep as this. And heck, the Rangers already have an all-star on the IL in Josh Young, and he's eventually coming back soon, Tuesday. Like I just said, there will be one more game without Josh Young. And in that stint without Josh Young, the Rangers have this 5-game winning streak. They have won 8 out of their first 10 games, and they're going into a road trip where, the Cubs have been a solid team, but they're definitely a team who the Rangers, I think, can definitely get to their bullpen. Their offense hasn't been, world-beating quite yet. They've got Kyle Tucker, who the Rangers are pretty familiar with. They've got Seiya Suzuki, who's a pretty darn good hitter. They've got some decent starting pitching for sure that we will see this week. And then the Rangers go to the Mariners, who haven't hit at all so far this season. Their pitching hasn't been nearly as indomitable as it has been in years past. And so this team is in a really, really good spot. I am still, a little worried, a little annoyed that this offense hasn't quite gotten going yet. But it's been 10 games. It's been 10 games. Semien is always a slow starter. Seager clearly playing through something. Peterson would like him to be hitting a little bit better. He's trying out the torpedo bat to try and see if that can jumpstart his offense. Jake Berger has had some big moments, hasn't been consistent just yet. But again, if most of your offense has been, pretty ice cold, and you're still 8-2, that is an incredible spot to be in. And right now, it may not be sustainable to win like this for the rest of the season, but hey, even the bad teams figure out how to win when things aren't going right. And right now, or even the best teams figure out how to win when things aren't going right. And right now, this Rangers team, not everything's going right, but they are still stacking up these wins, making me think that this team isn't just a mediocre team getting lucky. This is just a darn good team who's 8-2 and has yet to hit its stride. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you all so much for listening and subscribing. And until next time, don't forget to enjoy baseball.